Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic, to cosplay, to Schitt's Creek, to Supernatural, and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and on this episode, we are going to be talking about the comedy network show Drunk History, which ran from 2013 to 2019. This stuff suits this episode, okay? Thank you, Jenn. Okay, let's get it together. We are totally sober, by the way, everybody out there.
Yes, very much so, which is the issue. No.
Which is an issue. But let me introduce my lovely panelists. So, first up, my podcast brain twin, the co-host of our podcast, Twin It to Win It, and the host of my streaming bubble, Jenn. Hello, Jenn.
Hello. Thank you.
And then also joining me is Tiff, who suggested this episode. Hello, Tiff.
Hi, hey, hello. Let's get drunk without getting drunk.
This is going to be a very laid-back episode. We're not going to get too serious. I do have in here that I'm going to give trigger warnings, and then I'm like, why do I guess because history sucks. So
Look, imagine that.
There's racism, there's sexism, there's homophobia, there's transphobia. There's everything you can possibly imagine in history and in present day. And also, though, if alcohol is a trigger for you, which is a serious thing, if alcohol is a trigger for you, then the show could be triggering for you as well. So putting that out there, too. But from IMDb, Drunk History is about historical reenactments by A-list talent are presented by inebriated storytellers. That's from IMDb. It's okay.
Yeah. They've done worse.
Yeah, they definitely have. The Teen Witch one still is like with the question mark at the end. That was weird. And it was created by Derek Waters. And the concept of the show was first formed when Jake Johnson explained the death of Otis Redding to Derek Waters while intoxicated. I don't know if you both knew that, but that was the inspiration for the show. The people that did come on there to tell the drunk history stories, they really were drunk. They always had a medic on hand, though, to make sure everything was okay. But they really were drunk. It wasn't acting. So in case you were wondering, because this was a first-time watch for me, by the way, everybody, which may seem kind of surprising, but it was. And that was the first thing I looked up. This is going to be a fun conversation, I think. I'm really mostly excited to hear from Jenn and Tiff. So what I first want to know, Jenn, is why does the concept of drunk history work for you?
Oh, well, I will get into that, but I just want to real quick formally apologize to Tiff and the other contestants from your live streaming for trivia. I always assume everyone is smarter than me, and that's why I went with directors, but I'm like, I know actors, so my apologies, and I will do better now.
No. I like the fact that you had confidence in us.
I had all the confidence. And then when Carla
so confidence in us, and we were all like, doy.
Just wanted to get that out there quick. So the concept of drunk history works for me because it's hilarious. And as long as, and I know Derek Waters has said that they have to get names right and dates right. Like those are pretty much like the two, and probably locations. The main things they have to be accurate. So I can appreciate that, but it actually makes history fun. I'm not a history person. I can't remember anything from history. I'm probably worse at history than I am like geography, but I'm still the worst at math. But this makes history fun, and it's just these kind of quick, bite-sized little bits of history, and it's just a great way to introduce people to these moments, events, and just other people from the past. And it's almost like a gateway history lesson. So you could see some be like, huh, because they're so short and kind of condensed. So then, yeah, you might go out and like read a book or watch a documentary or something, or just go down a Wikipedia rabbit hole or something. So I think it's great. I think I think it should be shown in high schools. I think it'll reach the students that have a hard time with history and like books and reading. Everyone learns differently. I think this is a great way to kind of reach people that are more visual learners and can really kind of latch on to something that is funny and entertaining and educational. I think it just really gets you kind of more involved because it's like, are they going to throw up? Are they going to fall over? Oh, yeah. And Jefferson and Adams and all of those things happened? Huh. So, yes, that's why it works for me.
I'd love to see that school board meeting when this was presented as the way to teach history. Ooh, man.
Maybe when that next generation gets in, they'll be like, you remember that old show our parents used to watch?
So Tiff?
Yes. So being a history major, you get so much into the minutia of it all. It's a lot of dates. It's a lot of intense study of politics and all of that. And this is just short bursts of hilarity because you can tell that the actors are trying not to laugh when they're when they're lip syncing to the drunken tellings of the narration, which is just it's one of the funniest things that I have ever seen. I don't think that there's an episode that I don't like because of it. So I think that you capture people's attention with just those 10-minute segments. Sometimes they're not even 10 minutes because the episode itself is like 30, which with commercials is probably 24 minutes. So it's easy for people to absorb the content, even if it's like in just an absolute ridiculous way. Because somebody, like Jenn, you were talking about like Thomas Jefferson saying mother blah, blah, which is, I don't know if Jefferson was doing that. Trust me, he is a mother bloop bloop, but I don't know. May he rest in distress, continue to rest in distress. So, but it's hilarious to imagine them saying that, these very, stuck up, staid people, historical figures. It's hilarious thinking that they would say this stuff. And then just just the way watching people be drunk, because everybody's drunk is different. Everybody has different levels of drunk. You've got your drunks who you can literally not understand a word they're saying. You've got the drunks who are pretty eloquent still, but you can still tell by the list of their body, hanging to the side, that they are definitely drunk. And then you got the ones in the middle who they're acting like they know things, but they really don't know things. They're trying to stay on track. So I think that's a great way the show just really encapsulates everything that's funny and yet still somewhat historical, semi-historical. So yeah, but short bursts of historical hilarity always work for me.
So like I said, this was my first time watching this. And I don't know why I never watched this before. I knew of this show. I don't know. I had never really tuned in before. And I know it also started out as a Funny or Die thing too. I mean, I've watched a lot of, things from Funny or Die. And I think the reason it works is I agree a lot with what you said, Jenn, because I do think history can be very boring and people don't want to learn it because they feel like it's boring. And I really think that's true. And so I think when you add like a gimmick, because this is a gimmick, and you add that in, and if it's an entertaining gimmick and you have people that are actually getting drunk, because that's one of the hardest things to act is being drunk. And so you see how different people react to alcohol. And I think that works because you're having people, I know he would make people rehearse telling the story so they knew, like you said, the dates and the names and everything. So it would still be accurate, but they'd still be like, like have things that they didn't say back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why it works, because it's more entertaining than like sitting there and just studying a book. Or it also, I think, one thing that happens with us, especially in the United States, and I know it happens other places, but is we don't learn from our history. And a big reason we don't learn from our history is we think it's so far away. That's why, like when they say, when you see black and white photos, it's very purposeful that that's done, because then it makes it feel like it's so long ago, when in reality, it wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another reason this works, is because then it is showing you how it really wasn't that long ago that things were like this, or it really wasn't that long ago that this happened, because modernizing it in a way even with the language and having everything pretty much be in color and not doing like that kind of thing, I think also makes it a good way to learn history, because then you're learning it in a very different way. And you're not like completely like learning it like, oh, this was so long ago that it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something to learn.
Yeah.
Because it does matter, because we keep repeating it.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And I think with any like high school age, no matter what the generation, whatever the lingo is going to be, if you can verbalize, history in a way that's like fits the modern lingo and like all the slang and whatever the kids are saying, by keeping it kind of loose, and it's like, as long as the general, kind of vibe or whatever is being portrayed, when the narrators are like, yeah, and then Jefferson was like, what, motherfucker? Like, of course, Jefferson didn't say, what, motherfucker? But when you embellish that way, it gets, you still get the same kind of like, okay, so Jefferson wasn't down with that. Got it. Right? Like, you don't need all the wordy details. You just the facts.
Yeah.
So I think that's another way how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And that whole thing of people are very different. They react differently to alcohol and present differently when they're drunk. Not everybody is going to be the same drunk as somebody else. And that is entertaining, especially when, they're telling the stories, and then like you're watching the stories and the actors are saying the lines that the person who's drunk is saying. And that's, especially when they like have forgotten, or they're like, and blah, and, or they're, stuttering, and they're like, tripping over their words or something, which is what people do when they're drunk. And that makes it even funnier when you're watching the history play out, because I don't know, it makes it, like I said, it makes it more real in a way, to have it be where people are fumbling and not like saying all the right words or saying exactly what's written in the history books. So yeah, I think it definitely works. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask if you've learned anything new about history through the show. And if you did, what was the most interesting fact you learned? So we'll be right back. Okay, so Jenn, did you learn anything new about history through the show? And if so, what was the most interesting fact?
I learned like everything that I should have learned in high school, I feel like. The first thing I learned was like, people were really fucking hammered in the way back whens, because, woo, no. I mean, they probably were like a little bit. I mean, there used to be morphine in medicine, so God knows. But it's okay. So I've learned a lot of new things through Drunk History. And the first episode I saw was the one about Julia Childs. And like was like kind of dropped into it. And I was like, what? She was like a spy? What the fuck is going on here? And then I was like, oh, Drunk History. What is this? This sounds amazing. And then I was hooked after that. But I would have to say maybe one of them that kind of stands out was like the trial of the rats. Because like, what the fuck? Why are you gonna like, time and money was spent on that. Like, it's one of the most asinine fucking things. They're like summoning rats to come to court. What? See, they were drunk. Why would you do that? what the fuck? Yeah, I think that's definitely one of my more favorites and more what the fuck lessons learned via these History by Vine, drunk history. No.
So, Tiff, have you learned anything new about history? And what was the most exciting or interesting fact you learned?
So mine was a little bit more recent because I had no idea that Dolly Parton wrote two of her most favorites of her most famous songs, kind of like on a whim, like meeting this little kid named Jolene, and she's like, "That's a bad A Double Snake's name for a song. Like, I'm gonna write this song." And she just meets this little girl who asked for an autograph, and her name was Jolene, and I'm like, "Huh." I love that. I love that song. And that's just such an amazing fact. You go, Dolly Parton. And then her singing like her goodbye to Porter Wagner when she strikes out on her own, saying, "I will always love you." She sang her goodbye to him. And he said, "This is the most beautiful song I've ever heard in my life. I'm so sad to see you go, but go do great things." And I had no idea, like no idea whatsoever. But, Dolly's my girl. So I should have known. I should have known. But one of the one of the funniest episodes on that one, because Casey Wilson plays Dolly Parton, and she is just, her comedic timing is just chef's kiss. It's so good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And I do think, you learn that history is ridiculous, is kind of the whole rat thing and the ridiculous things that people did and said. And I think that's the other thing is people think of history as like, I think sometimes they're like, oh, people were a lot more eloquent or a lot more like that people were smarter. I really think people think that sometimes, or like they knew more than we do now, or they were more refined or whatever. And I think you learned that that really wasn't the case. And people were, doing really bizarre things. Like to me, the most bizarre thing, because I didn't know about this, was that whole thing with the dolphins and the LSD. That was that thing by the neuroscientist John C. Lilly, who dosed all dolphins with LSD. That I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those poor dolphins.
I know. Dosing dolphins with LSD. Yeah. Yeah, that's just, oh my gosh, the things we have done.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so sad.
Bizarre. It really is sad. And that whole episode with the whole like the jerking off the dolphin and like that was so weird.
Oh my gosh. That was, I was very uncomfortable.
Yes. Like, I was like, I don't think I have one I don't like either. Like, Tiff, you said like you love them all, but I'm like, okay, maybe one I could have done without.
Maybe that one.
I could have done without that one. You're right.
But the LSD part of it was just so like, just to all of a sudden, that the fact that someone went, oh my gosh, this is what we should do to dolphins is so bizarre to me because like, it's like, really? Seriously? Because I do think some drugs, like I do think like mushrooms and things like that, I do really think that some psychedelics and things can have like a very medicinal thing for human beings and have been shown to help people with PTSD and stuff like that. I'm not like, as a disclaimer, I'm not advocating for drug use. But to be like, let's inject dolphins with LSD is just bizarre thinking. And I guess you have to be on drugs to think of that. So so that to me, I'd never heard of this
they
before.
used to put cocaine in everything.
Yeah. That's what was in Coke. Yeah.
Cocaine was it was in everything. So,
yeah.
Yes, that's probably why he was like, yeah, let's give LSD to dolphins. He was on Coke.
Why not? They're like, we already gave them Coke. Let's see how they do on LSD.
They just go through every single one.
Natural progression.
Shoot them up with heroin.
Oh my gosh.
You have these addicted dolphins.
Poor dolphins. They're already kind of aggressive.
And dolphins are so smart.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, they really are incredible beings. But it was just such a weird, bizarre thing. I'm not saying it was something I enjoyed, but it was something that I'd never heard of. And it just really struck me like, God, we did some fucked up things. We still do. But man, the stuff people did, it's so weird. Like, I don't know, just thinking that, oh my gosh. Yeah. Just bizarre.
So weird.
But I'm sorry that I brought up the other part.
Oh, God.
So, Jenn, I know this is really hard, but who is one of your favorite guests on the show?
I have to go with Amber Ruffin because, first of all, she's adorable. Second of all, she's fucking hilarious. Third of all, when she's hammered, it is an absolute delight. So I adore her. The first time I was kind of introduced to her, a friend of mine was showing me like a clip from like the Seth Meyers Late Show. She was a writer on there, and then he had her as like a guest and talking about like the terrible current events and everything. And she was like, well, this is what Black people have been saying all these years. So join the fun. And she's doing like Yosemite Sam finger guns in the air the whole time. She's like, woo, join the fun. And I was like, oh my God. So from that moment on, I was like hooked. And so when she pops up on this show, I'm like, yay, because she's been on several times. And then Roy Woods Jr. has that weekly show, Have I Got News for You, where she's a panel on that. And that show is hilarious.
Oh my God, finally somebody else watches that show.
Oh my God.
Holy crap.
So my husband, I think he has a little man crush on Roy Wood Jr. Okay, so this is our next episode. But yeah, so she's great on there and she's great here, and she's got just such, I love her voice. And so when she gets drunk and she's got like her high pitch, like just totally schnookered. Sloshed. I am not schlossed. It's just 10:16 where I'm at in the nighttime. So, but yeah, Amber Ruffin. It is a hard one to pick. Paget Brewster's also very, very funny, and she's delightfully and in a friendly way mean to Derek.
She really is.
She's like, I like you, but you have just enough bastard in you.
I'm also just so happy to hear that both of you watch Have I Got News for You, because my sister and I watch that show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I keep telling Carla, if you're listening, this is another nudge to watch it, because I keep telling her to watch it because she loves everybody on it. And her and I both have loved Michael Ian Black for years and years and years. And so to have all three of them, and then I'm like, I don't know if anyone else was watching this show other than my sister, but now I do. So yay. Okay, yeah. So check that out, everybody. Hopefully it won't get canceled when, if that merger goes through. Hey.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But watch it now on HBO Max. So Tiff.
Okay, so I wrote down so many people on this because I wrote narrators and I did actors. So I did so many. I have like a list of like 25 actors.
No, just one guess, just one.
Okay, I'm gonna do a 2-in-1 because he's a narrator sometimes and he's an actor in the series. So I'm going with Rich Fulcher. Fulcher or Fulcher? Fulcher?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Like Fulcher. It's like Jenn was flossed. Anyway.
Oh God.
Because Rich is okay. He's funny on like as one of the actors. He's actually played Porter Wagner on the Dolly Parton episode, and across from Casey Wilson. But when he's a narrator, oh my gosh, he gets so drunk, and he is a sloppy drunk. Like he's a drunk that can't talk kind of drunk, and he's making noises and he's going, blah, blah, blah. Just, oh my gosh, he's so funny. I can't stop laughing when he's the narrator because his stuff can make no sense sometimes. So that's what I'm going with. I'm sticking by it because he's in the show as an actor and as a narrator. Boom. 2 in 1.
Well, and I'm still sticking with it. Jen, we completely twinned. That's exactly who I was going to say was Amber Ruffin. And I'm sticking with it because I love that woman so, so much. And she's just so naturally funny. She doesn't even have to try. And her brain, I would love to just pick apart her brain because she's so quick. And oh my gosh, she's incredible. And watching her get drunk just makes her even funnier. And I just love her. Like I could just watch just a whole show of just her. So that's who I had to choose. I was like, should I change it really quickly? But no, we're going to have a twinning moment. And and again, this is your reminder again, Carla, if you're listening and everybody out there to watch Have I Got News for You. The only bad part about the show is they go on hiatus.
Yes, agreed. But oh man, yeah. I love all. Yes, agreed. I love all three of those. Michael Ian Black is so fucking smart. Holy shit! Who knew that man was that intelligent? Yeah,
I did.
Hey. Where's my boo?
But no, he is. I loved that. Who's that baby? And when it was him, it was Michael Ian Black. Who that baby? Okay, well, we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, the dreaded 3. Not only did I make you pick a favorite guest, I'm making you pick 3 episodes or stories. So we'll be right back.
With Verbal's last-minute deals, you can save over $50 on your spring getaway. So whether it's a mountain escape with friends, a family week at the beach, or sightseeing in a new city, there's still time to get great discounts. Book your next stay now. Average savings $72. Select homes only.
Okay, Jen, I know you love me.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, where's that boo? I know you're very excited. I know you're like, yeah, you're like, woo, 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 woo. So what are 3 of your favorite stories?
It's so hard to pick 3. So the first one I'm going to go with is like the ADA and Proposition 504. I never knew about that. That's such a nice, quick little tidbit. After watching that episode, like my friend Laura and I were like talking, I was like, holy shit, I never knew this. Like I was telling her about the episode and she's like, yeah. And she recommended watching Crip Camp and they touch on that as well. And then from there, I read Judy Heumann's book, Being Human. And that goes into a lot more detail of what the protest and everything was like, the struggles, and then how different community groups came to help. The way, like when they shut off like the phones and the protesters couldn't communicate with anyone outside of the building, that's when they brought in the people that knew ASL. So they had ASL interpreters down on the ground, and the protesters would sign to them of what they needed. And then, of course, like the Black Panthers coming in to help bring food, and they also helped with like hygiene and getting hair washed and done and everything, because that shit went on for like not forever, but like when you have medical needs and like hygiene needs and to be still protesting like that, like that's quite the hurdle. But a lot of the people did it and it was amazing. So that's one of my favorite episodes. I'm sorry, I'll just stop talking about that. But Laura and I did an episode on Crip Camp, and we talk a lot about the drunk history episode. Another one I liked was when they fucking Weekend at Bernie'd Woodrow Wilson. What are we doing? My God. I wonder if that's where the premise for the movie came from. The other one that I had written down, Erin, was actually the dolphin one because I never needed to know any of that. I was very uncomfortable during that little segment. Like at first it was like, what LSD? That's insane and kind of silly. And like, but then, then the sex stuff entered in. I was like, I don't like it. Next piece of history, please. So these were the ones that were like the most memorable, again, for good or for bad. Also, Fred Rogers saving PBS.
Yeah, and I love about that it was that Colin Hanks played him because then Tom Hanks plays him in the movie. That movie. What was that movie called again?
Be My Neighbor?
Be My Neighbor. Yes, Be My Neighbor.
I totally guessed.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah. So, Tiff, what are 3 of your favorites?
Yeah, I have like 20 written down, so it was a bit difficult to get through these. So, okay. So I'm gonna go with season 4, episode 9, Hamilton. And this was drunkenly told by Lin-Manuel Miranda. But I think the interesting part, and this was the whole episode, it was just Hamilton. You know, generally it's about a subject and they give you 3 options. But this one was just Hamilton, and they had Aubrey Plaza play Aaron Burr, and they had Aaliyah Shawkat play Hamilton. And I thought that was just that gender swap was just so funny. Questlove showing up not showing up, but being on the phone. Chris Jackson also being on the phone, or maybe I think they might have Skyped in, but it was just a lot of fun. You could tell like Derek was having a great time. Lynn was having a great time. I love that episode so much, mainly because of the gender swap thing. And Aaliyah Shawkat and Aubrey Plaza they're comedic geniuses. I love to see them in comedy because they're just so good. I'm going to go with also, let's see, season 4, episode 4. That was all about the Roosevelts and Theodore Roosevelt and his just complete hatred of football. Like he had a major issue with football, but apparently football was really, really, really violent at that time. Like people like dying kind of violent. I mean, we know all about CTE at this point in time, but Theodore was like, no, not on my watch. And so he was like, shut it all down. No, Harvard, you can't play. Yale, you can't play. Nobody, you can't play. Absolutely not. And then FDR and Churchill, basically Churchill trying to, I guess, not bully. Well, yeah, bully and cajole, guilt trip FDR into getting into World War II. That was pretty funny. But I think the best part of it was Eleanor Roosevelt and her friendship with Ludmila Pavlichenko, a sniper, the best sniper in the history of snipership, I guess. A Soviet woman who was on the front lines in World War II, and she sniped all sorts of people. Bang, bang, bang. I have one more, don't I? Okay. My last one is kind of, I'm going to go with it, Erin. I'm going to go with it because it was on the web series. So, you know, it was a Funny or Die web series before it came to Comedy Central. So it was the Drunk History Christmas episode where Alan, one of the narrators, and he was a regular throughout the television, also the television series as well, drank half a bottle of whiskey before he started, Alan McLeod, and then tried to do the narration of The Night Before Christmas. And it starred Ryan Gosling, fan fave, Jim Carrey, and Ava Mendez in it. So future couple, Ryan Gosling and Ava Mendez. Alan McLeod was so drunk in this episode. He was so drunk. He's like, I've been drinking since 2:30. And he just kept saying, I'm effing it up, Derek. I'm effing it up the whole time. And it's just the funniest thing. It's on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, just type it in. It's a Drunk History Christmas. They showed it. They aired it on January 4th of 2012. So those are my 3, which I hold near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to mention the Ryan Gosling one because I know that's what inspired you to suggest that we covered this. So, because when we talked about Ryan Gosling last year, I know that made you think of this. So, yeah, because I was like, where's the Ryan Gosling episode? So I I searched for it on YouTube, and that's how I found it too, because I was like, I don't see the Ryan Gosling
Yes.
episode here.
Him and the little hat. Him and
Yeah.
the little nightcap.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
most adorable thing ever.
Yeah, and it's nice to see him with Eva Mendes, who of course is his wife and his partner. So it's nice to see the two of them together too. So yeah. Okay, well, I decided I would just go with a theme and all of the 3 segments in that theme. That's what I decided to do. So I am going with sex.
Yeah, girl.
Oh yeah. That works. That works really well.
Okay.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Which of course you learn about, birth control and how that really, birth control really like saved women in a lot of, honestly, that was like an incredible invention that happened. And so learning about that, about Margaret Sanger and her crusade for birth control. And then of course the Kinsey scale, which I don't think we talk about that much at all anymore. I think there was a time period when people were revisiting the Kinsey scale, and now every once in a while people will mention it in passing. But so I think it's always interesting to revisit that. And then of course Gloria Steinem going undercover in the Playboy Club and all of this stuff there, because I know, not too long ago there was a whole series about Playboy and exposing, the stuff that went on there and Hugh Hefner and everything like that. So I just liked the way they did that. I thought everyone in it was really good. And I liked that for me, that was a much more female-centered, one in a lot of respects. And so that's why it also appealed to me. Not to get serious or anything, but but I really liked that one a lot,
We need bunny costumes, apparently.
It's a fandom thing after dark without bunny costumes.
Wow.
Bouncing bunnies. Sorry. It's a fandom thing, bunnies. The bunnies it's a fandom thing.
Oh my God.
It's a fandom things. What is that? The calendars.
Yeah.
The
Oh my
pinups
God.
it's a fandom thing.
It's a pinup thing.
It's a pinup thing. I like that. So yes, this one was a lot of fun. Thank you, Tiff, for suggesting it. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Jenn, also for joining us. And let us know what some of your favorite moments were from Drunk History, some of your favorite hosts, guests, everything like that, and what you learned as well. So just let us know. But it is time to play 6 Degrees of Mr. Finn Whitrock. And I'm sure Finn is a huge fan of Drunk History. I'm pretty darn positive. I'm sure he would have wanted to be on it. I was like, wait, he wasn't on it, was he?
Kind of actually a little surprised, but
I know, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a good one.
Yeah, he did do a thing for Funny or Die called Nominated, which is really funny. And if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. But so it is time for 6 Degrees of Finn. So Jenn is part of the Finn crew, which means she's required to play. And Tiff, I'm sure, played too. So I was trying to come up with something like in that Tiff saw Finn perform live on stage. So,
There you go.
So Jenn, how did you connect Mr. Finn Whitrock to Drunk History?
well, I had to go with Amber Ruffin, and she had the show, The Amber Ruffin Show, and Ava DuVernay was a guest, and she co-wrote Origin, and Finn's in that. Yeah, Erin?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Awesome. No, I love
Nice.
it. So Tiff.
So I went with my girl, Aaliyah Shawkat, and she was in Night Moves with Bart McCarthy, who was in Plus One with Finn Whitrock.
Awesome. We haven't used that one in a while, so yay. I too used Amber Ruffin. When you said Amber Ruffin earlier, I'm like, I bet you Jenn used Amber Ruffin for 6 degrees, but I did a different way. So
Okay.
we didn't twin it in the way we did it. So Amber Ruffin, of course, is in Have I Got News for You with Michael Ian Black, who was in Wet Hot American Summer with Bradley Cooper, who was in A Star is Born with Lady Gaga, who was in American Horror Story Hotel with Finn, and my favorite character that Finn played, Tristan. And I really try so hard not to use American Horror Story, but in this case, I was fine with it because I got to use so many other things that I love. So, so I was fine with it.
I like it. I like
just
it.
think,
Yeah. You went around the horn.
yeah. Well, thank you, Jenn and Tiff. This was a lot of fun and just as silly and laid back as I thought it would be. But we're going to go ahead and close out. And Jenn, my co-host of Twin It to Win It, and we have twinned tonight. You heard that, everybody, with the Amber Ruffin love. That sounded really off.
After your sex theme and the dolphins.
So, Jenn from My Streaming Bubble, tell everybody about My Streaming Bubble.
Well, My Streaming Bubble is my podcast, and I talk about the streaming stuff that I like or that I've watched and whatnot. So you can listen to that podcast pretty much everywhere but Pandora. So we boycott Pandora. Boo, Pandora. You can find My Streaming Bubble on pretty much all your favorite socials. You can Google My Streaming Bubble and I'll pop on up there for you. And then make sure you do all those same things for Twin It to Win It. So the monthly one that Erin and I host. The monthly one.
Monthly one. I love you, Pandora. So, Tiff.
So you can find me at Who Is Tiff Is Me across all the socials. I'm generally on the Discord with with the It's a Fandom Thing pod crew. I'm at Who Is Tiff Is Me. And you can find me across all the socials. And I'm mostly in the Discord with the It's a Fandom Thing pod crew, talking about books, talking about movies, talking about TV, talking about theater, all sorts of fun. Come give us a shout.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. And Fergie the dog, well, she really didn't care too much about this show. It's not really, her thing. She likes horror. And although she does love Abbott Elementary, but she loves horror and true crime. And she's a cute, funny dog. And you can follow her on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find links to all our past episodes and our social media, including the Discord server that was mentioned, head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free content. You get episodes a day early, so you could have already been laughing with us, yesterday instead of today. And occasionally you win prizes as well. So click the link in the show notes or go to the Support Us tab on our website, which once again is it'safandomthingpod.com. And next week, we are kicking off Pride Month with a look at queer coding in media. So this should be a really, really good conversation. And joining me will be Ishelle and then also Ashley from Talking Like a Teen podcast. So I'm looking forward to talking with them about that. This was a suggestion from Ishelle. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm not sure what will be after that because no one has signed up to talk about the movie Bound, which just blows my flippin' mind. It's one of those things, like sometimes I'll put things on there and I'm like, why does no one want to talk about this? I don't know. So I might be changing that. I don't know. We'll see. It's like the second time I've tried to put it on there. I'm like, maybe I just need to give up. And then after that, it's our annual Queer as Folk talk. So we're going to be covering season 3 of Queer as Folk. So I'm always excited to rewatch my all-time favorite show. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and Free Palestine.